Hey everyone, thank you for joining today to hear our very special guest today, who is joining us from Bogota, Colombia today. And let me quickly introduce myself and the agenda for the interview today, and then we can go right into talking to our special guest here. So my name is Tulika Dayal. I go by Tia, and I'm the Chief Customer Experience Officer and co-founder at SkySelect. As many of the listeners already know, we are doing a series of interviews with the inspirational women leaders in aviation industry because we want to hear their voice on the career opportunities in aviation, how and what they would like to change in aviation for greater success, and also what advice would they give to women who would like to join aviation or who are already in aviation and would like to be leaders in aviation, like our special guest today here. So, without any further ado, let me introduce the special guest, Liliana Bocanegra, who is the Technical Procurement Director at Avianca. And also, she's the president of the Procurement Committee at Latin American and Caribbean Air Transport Association. Hi, Liliana. Great to have you here.
Good afternoon, Tia, and thank you for having me. It is a real pleasure to be in this opportunity, sharing with the people how it's to be a woman in aviation. So thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be interviewed. And the reason why we are so excited to have Liliana is because of her great career in aviation. She's a true passion for aviation. She has spent decades, 2 decades almost, in aviation and has extensive knowledge in operations, supply chain, logistics, contract negotiations, warranties, and the list goes on. But I will let Liliana add the special colors to her background so that the listeners can also get to know her.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that good introduction. Now, I will just say that I love to be in aviation. I love our work. And let's say the background is much on negotiation, supply administration, procurement, and the technical procurement, which is actually even more fun than any other technical side because we are in contact directly with the airplanes and we have a big impact on the operation. So that's my background. Happy to be here. As you say, many years, more than I wanted to let you know. Married and just happy to be part of this industry and the woman leader of the aviation industry.
Yeah, thank you so much, Liliana. And what I love about Liliana is that not only today in the interview, but she has been actively working in the past as well on promoting gender inclusion in her organization and encouraging women to pursue a career in aviation industry, as well as showcasing the benefits of having women workforce in the aviation industry. So her journey in promoting women in aviation has been going on for many years. And a lot of interviews have been covered for her already. And we are just lucky to have her again to talk about her passion in aviation. So welcome, Liliana. Thank you so much for joining us today again. We have a set of 9 questions that we want to ask you, which will basically cover all the topics from why are you in aviation and how can we inspire other women in aviation, and also what your leadership what does leadership mean for you. So let's jump into the first question. What advice would you give to the aspiring young women who want to join aviation industry?
Thank you. I will say that you have to work hard, be yourself, enjoy your work, and give your 200%. Not your 100%. You have to give your 200%. This is a great industry, for sure, the best door to know the world. So you have to do your best. I will say that opportunity are already there. Are already there in many areas within the airlines and also on the supplier side. So let's demonstrate this is about good results. This is about being a good professional, a good leader. This is not about gender. This is about you demonstrating that you can give the best, and that for that specific reason, you deserve to grow within the organization. In my case, I think this is the best example of a good results. So when you show good results, you don't have to compete about gender. It was easy for me because I love aviation. I love what I do, so I get paid for what I love. But when you find your passion, and your passion is aviation, then everything comes very easy when you show good results to the organization.
Thank you so much. Are there any specific degrees, Liliana, that you would suggest the young women to pursue if they have to get into aviation?
For sure, you have to be an engineer. I'm not an engineer, which is actually funny because I have an MBA, I have business, I have international business, but I work with a huge and very good number of engineers. So I do believe that engineers support us a lot, but now we're growing. We have people from administration, finance, marketing. I mean, the good part of being an airline is you have so many different areas. So because I work on the technical side, I love to work with engineering. But within aviation, you have so many different opportunities. Actually, marketing, technology. So I won't say there is one specific, maybe because my background, I would recommend engineering because it's a lot of fun if you can work close to the airport.
Yeah. Engineering is definitely very close to my heart as well, being an engineer myself. So I would definitely voice that having an engineering degree and going into technical, maintenance or procurement is very exciting. And it definitely helps with the analytical skills required to excel in this space. Thank you
For,
so much.
for sure.
But again, it's not limited just to engineering. There's so many areas in aviation, like you said, like marketing, which doesn't require engineering degrees.
And I'm very proud to say that I'm not an engineer, but I have been in the technical world for many years because you have to learn to work with engineering and love the technical side and try to understand, go to the airport, sit down with the technical people and understand what they do. How can you support them? So that's the great part of being in technical procurement.
You're natural at it. You learned on the go.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Fantastic. So in your organization, what does the male to female ratio look like today? And is it an area of concern or an area of inspiration for you?
I think it's getting better, but it's not where we want it. If we take the whole organization, I think we're more or less 45, 55, 45 women, 55 men. But if you came down a little bit more to the technical areas, that's a different history. I do believe that Avianca is doing quite well. In general numbers, we are not in the same level when we have to higher position, senior leadership. But I will say that at Avianca, we're doing a good job to make sure that we give the same opportunity to everyone.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure having leaders like yourself at director position allows for a career path for women to look up to on how they can also grow to be future directors in the organization.
Yeah. But it doesn't just require having good examples. It requires a system from the complete organization, making sure you give opportunities, you allow people to have visibility when there are those opportunities. It doesn't come by magic. As an organization, you have to compromise with that goal. And I think Avianca is doing a great job making sure we implement those programs, those opportunities to everyone, but especially to women.
That's amazing. That's amazing to hear that you guys have special programs to allow for women to progress in their career and Avianca. That's great.
That's how it is.
And how about COVID-19? Was that a difficult time for your career or for people at Avianca, how did that impact your personal, career in aviation?
COVID-19, my goodness, the worst crisis ever, a very critical moment for the industry, completely unprecedented. Everyone, I think no one was prepared for something like this. No one, neither government, no airlines, no any business was prepared for something as critical as COVID-19. I do hope COVID-19 change us all as a humanity, because I hope we learn that we are completely connected, related, that what we do affect others, and that we must take care of each other. In my personal case, the best lesson was to enjoy every single moment, to value small things, not to take anything for granted. In my case, I really value now just being able to meet my family, to go to a restaurant, to share with my friends, to go to the office, that COVID-19 stopped it in one moment. So I would say that the best lesson was being able to value small things. On aviation, we were highly impacted. Like all airlines around the world, we have to do at Avianca downsizing. I hope you understand how critical that was. I'm sure also suppliers did it. It was a huge impact, how to handle, how to manage that appropriately, because we impact our team, our people, their families. So it was not easy to handle. I have to say that that was the biggest challenge within Avianca. And especially, I don't know if you're aware, but at Colombia, all the commercial flights have to be stopped. So we couldn't fly commercial. We just flew on cargo flight. So I hope you can imagine how it was to try to maintain an airline not flying commercially. We just have a very few percentage of cargo flight. So that was a very challenging time. But I do hope that everyone, not just people on the airline industry, but everyone learned so many lessons on the personal side, on the professional side from COVID-19, because it really stopped the war, stopped the way we did business. Some lessons are many, and in my personal view, I have so many ones, especially on the personal side.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think in one way it unified us as a globe. It made us realize that how we all have to stand together against COVID-19. But it also was very difficult time as an industry where we had to downsize. In every single airline, we saw having to, let go of 30%, 20, 30% of the workforce. And now it's very hard to get them back in the industry or hire people again. There's a talent crunch in the industry. But I agree that that was the toughest time on the personal level to let go of, the people in the industry.
You know what surprised me? When COVID hit, everyone was trying to downsize. And when the recovery started, it was crazy because no one was prepared for that huge recovery, that ramp up that was so fast. So everyone was trying to recover the people, recover the raw material. I mean, it was so difficult to handle all at the same time, plus the personal challenges. And Tia, I think we will see the real consequences in young people, in our children's, on the future. We're starting to see the consequences of COVID-19 right now, especially on kids, especially on teenagers. Mental health is an issue, is a challenge. So I think COVID-19 impact everything, everywhere, on both atmospheres, on the personal, on the professional life. It was crazy times.
Yeah, but we all have to recover now, and hopefully we are moving together and remembering we have to recover together. Even as we are trying to recover as an industry, get the talent back required to continue the operations of the airlines.
And we're back, which is great. I'm glad you mentioned, because I think the recovery has been great. For example, us and Avianca on the domestic were even better than we used to be pre-COVID. International is a little bit close to be at the same level. Recovery is great, but as you mentioned, it was a great lesson to learn. It was not easy. It was no fun, but here we're back and stronger. I think that's the best lesson that we can
Like
share
you
with
said,
everyone.
we are back stronger, which is amazing. So with that comes to mind, you know, if you have any mentors or women that you look up to that you have been learning along the go.
Yes, for sure. In the beginning of my career, I have this woman that really showed me and was a mentor. It was Veronica Gutierrez, and it's nice because she left Avianca and she's back. Now she's my colleague. She used to be my boss at the beginning. Actually, I have another great mentor, which is Diana Calisto. She's my boss, actually. She is a vice president of procurement at Avianca. But I also have to say, Tia, that I have very good female suppliers that show me that we have an important role, an important value in this industry. So it was not just Avianca. I would say those two mentors helped me a lot. At Avianca, showed me so many opportunities. They were great examples, but suppliers also. I see very good women as the suppliers they are great. They are having very good positions, very good results. So that was also good to see, not just within Avianca, but with the suppliers. But it's important to say that this is not just about female mentors. I do have also good mentors on men that help me a lot within my career and that support me and give me many opportunities that I would have to say always thank you, not just to women, but to some men that help us a lot.
Yes, you hit a chord with me on that point, which is after a point you realize that you can learn from anyone, and you cannot try to be limited by, you know, gender or color or background. You have to go beyond it and work together as a team from every single background and learn from everyone, even people who we are reporting to and even people who are working, you know, with us in the team. So there's a learning opportunity from everyone, and the beauty comes when we start learning from and embracing ideas from different backgrounds. Because at the end of the day, it's the hard work that goes into keeping a plane in the air, right? And we all have to work together as a unit, as one team, even as
You're
a
right.
buyer and a supplier.
You're right, and not just on the professional side. You can learn from people on the way they are as human beings, and that's also quite important. And you're completely right. It doesn't matter if it's woman, if it's a man. It's what you consider is important to learn, and who is the people that really make a difference on you. So I do have many good examples within Avianca. I do have to be very transparent, but also in the industry. Also working with suppliers, working for people all around the world. Everyone can teach you a little bit of their culture, of the way they do things. So that was very important in my whole career, to have that opportunity of multicultural jobs and works are all around with the people. And it is also good because I have the opportunity to lead people, not just in Colombia, but in San Salvador, in the United States. So it gives you a much broader idea and how to learn from each kind of different people.
Yeah, and I think this is a great segue to, because I can already hear the passion in your voice. What is your favorite part about being in aviation? Where is this passion coming from?
I cannot choose one. There are many, but one thing that still amazes me is that you came to your office with one list of things to do, with an agenda, and when you finish the day, you realize that it was a complete different thing, nothing to what you planned, different energies, different challenges, but many different things that you learn also during the day. Some crises, some specific issues. I mean, this is a industry that is full of surprises and full of changes every single day. That would be the first one for me. The second one, I can meet people from all around the world. As I was telling you, It allowed me to work with different cultures, which I really love it. Also being able to travel. I love to travel for business, for personal, I like it. So being part of an airline really opened that door, so you can go everywhere, and I take advantage of those tickets while I on holidays. And the last one, I will say, being close to an airplane. It really made me feel different. My previous office was on a hangar, close to the window, and yeah, there is nothing compared to that. I mean, come to your office and just being able to watch where they do maintenance to that aircraft is something that I would not change for nothing. I love that part. I love the technician coming to say, you know what, we need this. Why don't you come with me to the airplane and I show you why we cannot continue the war if you don't bring this part. That was great. I used to be where the heavy maintenance was happening. I used to be there every time, because I really think airplane is a perfect machine. It still surprised me how they can fly. That all that weight, being able to fly is something that really amazed me every single time I have the opportunity to fly. It's like the first time. It really make a difference. After you're here in this industry, working close to airplanes, it's difficult to live. It has to be a very attractive position, otherwise you won't live, because you get this tricky thing about aviation. Being in aviation is quite fun.
Yes, yes. And once you have the passion for an industry, giving 200% is easy. It's a byproduct. And
Agree.
what I love about what you said is that no day is different. Every day looks different than yesterday. And there's new learning, new challenge every single day.
It is. I can assure you this is very challenging every day, but you learn different things always, because sometimes it's an LG, next time it's a supplier situation in the industry, especially nowadays with all these logistic crisis and all the things that are happening on the world with the after COVID situation. You learn every single day. I can assure you that's the best part of working, at least at Avianca.
Yes. So that's the good part. Are there anything that you would like to change in aviation industry?
I will say that being a Latin American airline is not always easy, because if I compare, when you're in the United States and you have an EOG, suppliers are just 2 hours away, 6 hours away. You don't have customs. But when you are a Latin American airline, regulation is very critical. Custom regulation is very critical. So we do have many challenges regarding, especially in the supply chain for that specific situation. I will make sure customs for airlines works very different for sure. And that the suppliers also understand that the timing and the complete logistic structure is different. I would say that would be the first one, because what I do, but I also will do some changes regarding SAF, Sustainable Aviation Fuel. I think we have a big commitment down there. People is expecting from us to have a sustainable aviation. So those are the two challenges if I have the opportunity, because it's not in my control, but I will do something about it. SAF for sure. And the other one, regulation, because we have to compete between many airlines, but the regulation is different and customs and logistics are different. So that's a big challenge when you are in Latin America.
I think that summarizes the big objectives very well, streamlining the logistics and also being more sustainable. I love it. I think sustainability, we owe it to the next generation to do our part in leaving, a place better than how we got it, right?
And the good part is not just for the next generation. I think the passengers now are asking actively, what is the commitment you have as an airline on the sustainability? So it used to be something good for the future. I do believe is a must right now. So those are the things that, at least for what I do, are more critical as of today.
That's amazing. And how do you see Avianca or the aviation industry in 10 years from now?
What do I see? I see changes. I see I see alliance. I think I do see a lot of alliance, price competition, flexibility. When you are a passenger now, you want to have flexibility. So I see growth for sure, alliances, flexibility, because the passenger requested, price competition, and I will just say that I also believe that there are two things that will dramatically change our future in 10 days. One is technology. There is no any other question. Now we see the impact on technology. And the other one we just discussed, sustainability. That has to be the way, at least in 10 years time, how the industry will change a lot.
I think very well said. I completely agree with you. But it very nicely ties into you said that in 10 years, sustainability and digitization are going to be very important. How does digitization priorities stand for you today, and what's your take on it?
Okay, it's not just about digitalization. I will say automation also, because, well, for me, digitalization is a must and it's already there. It's key for our future, especially for what we do, Tia, you and me. We have to take advantage of thousands of data that is already there. I mean, it's already there. You have two options. Either you choose to take advantage or you choose to ignore. But I think the reality is that when you work with that data, that big data, and work it appropriately to help you to take good decisions, you really have much better results. So I will say predictive maintenance now is critical, automation for sure, customer experience, marketing, the information you have for your own passenger is there. You have just to be sure you treat it appropriately and you have all that data to work with it. So there are two things. Digitalization, I think, is already there. Right. Higher or lower degrees, but it's already there. Now we have to convert that in automation and how we make our process lean, our process easier, and how do we live much better because we take advantage of IT, digitalization, and automation. I will say that's key for now, but it's also, now that you mentioned the topic, on aviation, we have a big issue right now, a big challenge, and it's the shortage of technicians, of engineers that want to work on this industry. So for me, digitalization and technology is the way you can attract them, because the young people doesn't want to just go to the airplane and work for hours at 2 a.m. in the morning, reading thousands of manuals. They want to work with technology, digitalization, big data. So I think it's also a way to attract that people. Up to date, there is a huge shortage of technicians in United States, Latin America, and everywhere. So by technology, I do believe we can attract young people. And so I know it's a mix of things, but I think that's key for our reality as of today.
And I think this is like so true, because today's workforce want to be more strategic. They don't want to do just repetitive tasks day in and day out. They want to be able to leverage analytical data and statistics to become more strategic and find better ways of doing things. So even at, an entry level job, I do believe that our workforce now is so educated and they want to, be working smart, that we have to provide them better tools so that they can have better job satisfaction and they can also contribute to better ideas and ways of doing things.
Agree. And you know what is very nice? You mentioned something important. Our young people, they want to add value. They don't want to make repetitive tasks. So they want to add value. And the best way to add value, when you talk about technology, is having all that data and making sure you offer something different to the airline. You offer a new solution. You offer a new way to solve things. So we agree. I agree. I mean, we are working hard at Avianca to make sure digitalization is part of our key results. And the senior leaders are very committed to make sure that data is part of our key result and strategy, especially.
Yeah, and with already so much data, I think you're completely right. It's just about slicing and dicing the data to help you make faster, quicker decisions at all levels of the company. And that is the key role digitization has to play in the next, 5 to 10 years for every single airline. Um, what about if you have for our listeners, any suggestion or thoughts as they are, in the industry or considering to join the industry?
In general, any
Yeah,
suggestion?
yes, in general, it could be any suggestion for this industry.
Okay. I'm sorry, but this is because what I do. I will send a message to my our suppliers in the industry. I will suggest that suppliers see airline as a strategic partner, not as a customer. We're not just a customer, and there is a simple reason why. If airlines do well, suppliers do well. So and I want to take advantage to tell you that when we have on COVID-19, we have to get into chapter 11. That was a very difficult moment. And actually, it was funny because it was my second chapter 11 within Avianca. And I know that was very hard for our suppliers. I know that caused a lot of pain, but I was always saying to all of them, we're here to be in the good times, in the bad times, because we're going to be back and stronger. And I'm so happy, Tia, that today I can show those suppliers that they have to join us in the bad times, but they will grow with Avianca for another 100 years, because we
Yes.
are already 100 and we will be another 200 years. And I will say that as a suggestion for everyone, we do have to work together. We're not separate in this one. If we do well, suppliers do well. So let's make sure that for sure we're all here to make money. We're all here to protect our companies, but we have to work together to make sure results are better in the long term. And chapter 11 was the best example that when you're here with me in the bad moments, you will receive the good results when we are back going. And this is what is happening today. And all those suppliers that join me in the bad moments are happy to share now with Avianca the good results we're able to provide to the market as of today.
Yes, completely agree. And Avianca always bounces back even stronger. And so and not just for Avianca, but for the industry, I think we need to look beyond making money. We need to look beyond just give and take. It has to be authentic and ethical and from helping each other to be more successful in our jobs and in our roles and responsibilities at every single level. And I think this is a critical moment where in COVID-19, it taught us who are our true friends and who are not, right? But the true friendships that we have found are going to be here to stay and is going to only become stronger.
Agree, 100%. It shows us that you're there to support on the bad times, also because you will be also in the good moments. Yeah, to be honest, also on the personal side, as you just mentioned, COVID-19 shows that what are those real good friends and strategic partners. I will say it on the business side.
Yes, completely agree. Well, I have always really liked, listening to your thoughts and feedback. I hold you at a very high, pedestal for even for myself, because I learned so much from you, Liliana. And it's just been such a pleasure talking to you. Your passion is infectious. It only makes anyone and everyone listening and talking to you to realize why they should, even put 150%, 200% in their roles and responsibilities and make each other successful.
Thank you. It was a real pleasure, Tia. I'm very happy you give me this opportunity to share with the people my history, my passion, and also some of the good lessons that this industry provide every single day. It was my pleasure. I'm the one who have to thank you. Thank you for your words. Also, I do appreciate it a lot. And welcome to Avianca. It is always fun As I told you before the conference, the interview is always fun. You're more than welcome to visit, to go to a hangar, to be in an MRO. That's enough passion. When you are bored and you get to the MRO, you see why you're here and why this industry is so great and so passionate about it.
Thank you so much. All your insights were just amazing to listen. And I'm sure everyone that is listening to this will feel that their knowledge has been expanded as well. I would just add that to all the listeners that Liliana personally is very motivated and passionate about helping other young people and women as they're aspiring their careers in aviation. So I hope she wouldn't mind that if we share with the group that they can, reach Liliana on LinkedIn um, on this link, and she will be happy to respond and connect. For myself, if you folks want to understand and learn about more what SkySelect does, I am personally very excited about, turning procurement into a value generator and sharing leaders like Liliana into strategic partnerships where technology and AI can help automate the material purchasing and logistics management. And we were talking a lot about some of the things where the data already exists. So, how do we leverage the data to empower the people in her team to make better strategic decisions? So, thank you so much, folks. You can reach me on this LinkedIn if you want to talk about AI in supply chain and procurement. And I hope that we will see Liliana in some other interview or another stage talking about her journey and her learnings as we keep progressing.
It would be my pleasure, for sure. And let's contact me on LinkedIn. It would be also very nice to get in touch. And thank you, Tia and SkySelect, for this opportunity. It was great to share these ideas, experience, and history.
Thank you so much. Great.
Have a wonderful